Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt, and today is Tuesday, September 20th. Okay, first video since I've come back from a long, relaxing summer vacation. Got in a lot of golf. I hope everybody enjoyed everything that they did this summer, enjoyed their families. Um, Dance parties are about to begin. As you know, the Fed will be tomorrow, and we have the Bank of Japan tomorrow. So we have a couple of pretty big announcements going on. Now it's about 2 minutes to close, maybe 1 minute to close, something like that. I really want to get into SPY here. I might take a look at a couple others, but really I'm going to try and analyze this in multiple time frames so you could see what I'm thinking, which is, I think we're going to get a pop to the upside, but I'm not sure yet. So after we had this massive dip right here, and we've just been consolidating right across here, but we're not getting over this EMA 8 under any circumstances as of yet, or this daily trend line. We did make these lows here. We have the four bottoms. You can call it 5 or 6 if you want. They were bought up by hundreds of millions of shares. I was watching those trades and it looked really good every single day. So somebody was either protecting or covering shorts, whatever the case may be. Right now, the general trend is to the upside. So we're pretty much in a little pickle right here. It's a declining wedge and it's a rising wedge. So tomorrow is going to be a huge day one way or another. As you can see, that pounding it right into the low yesterday. So that's great relative strength index, and this is the daily, by the way, is at 41. My slow stow's riding right along the bottom. Same thing in my regular stow, and you can see here that you're slowly rounding the corner, but there's no decision on exactly what's going on. And as long as we hold this line right here, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good move to tomorrow, maybe to the upside, but who knows right now. So really that's all we have. After all this consolidation right here, it finally just snapped and had some big dumpage. Finally got this gap here, which I was very happy about. But we do have two lower ones, and I'm going to look at a lower time frame before I push on here and give you some of my trend lines here. So you can see here's one of the trend lines uh, right there on the lower time frame, but we're not going to sweat that right now. Use the daily. You can see a slow stows down here, so we're probably going to push up pretty hard. This is the 15-minute. I'm going to go to the hourly right now just to mark out a couple of lower and higher gaps that are going to be very important for us to keep an eye on tomorrow. And going into the rest of the week, because whatever the direction is tomorrow, there are going to be these targets here. So we have three gaps in the chart right here to meet this low over here, which is we're going to look at 200, 203, 209.38. Here's the other one right here. Okay, so those are your downside gaps right now that we need to be aware of. So if we do break out to the downside, those are the ones you want to play to. And then to the upside, we have one right here hiding out. At 215, and we have another one here at 216, and we have another one here at 218. So either side of this track tomorrow, we're going to have a great week after that, and the following week where it's going to be very liquid, and we're going to be heading to some of these targets, whether it's the upside or the downside. And moving it up to back to this daily here, you can see all the different marks in here. Now we have some way back here too, at 188 and 187 and 184. Okay, so those are the other ones. But taking note back on the daily here, you can see you're slowly starting to round to the upside. One thing I do not like is my cross here. Of the line over the zero line, because that's not a good sign. But our slow stow is at the bottom, RSI is at 41. Now taking a look at a weekly, moving it up a little bit here, you can see on your weekly that your fast stow has turned to the upside, flattened out a little bit. It just came off a little bit of a bounce, but we are holding this middle Bollinger Band. I'll zoom this in a little bit. We are holding the middle Bollinger Band, which is right here, and the EMA is just above that. So a decision is definitely going to be made on a direction, and it's going to be aggressive one way or the other. Because if the Fed does not do anything and the Bank of Japan does the stimulus that everybody's expecting them to, then we should rip to the upside and potentially get to the 2200, which has been my target for quite some time here. And and then that should be the plug pull for the election. So I think we're going to push up until the election, but that's just my assessment at this point. On the downside, you're looking at 203.13, 200 for that gap support also. Okay, so your MACD has crossed down on the weekly, and your slow stow has also moved crossed heading to the downside. So they could pull the rug out tomorrow, but we have to keep an eye on that. The daily looks up, but the longer term looks down. As you can see on your monthly, you're just getting ready to cross here, and you've come down to reset a little bit on the monthly here. EMA is still in play right here, which is very good, and your middle Bollinger Band is also pretty good place. Um, and you can see here, you're just getting ready to either crack over it or stay down below it. So we'll have to see what happens here on the monthly. And I'm going to take it a couple steps further. Quarterly, we're just coming out of the quarter here, and tomorrow's quarter end. So we're going to have a brand new candle after this. So in order to continue to the upside, we're going to have to get another big push here to really get going. RSI's at 72, your slow stow's at 84, and your fast stow and your high stow has been riding the upside too. You've been coming down a little bit here, nothing spectacular on your MAC. So it's really hard to tell what's going to take place tomorrow, but we could get another candle like this to the upside, or we can get another big candle like this one to the downside. So we're really going to have to keep an eye on that. But basically the way it's looking right now is looks like it's going to get a pretty aggressive pop on the daily and then fade after that. But everything can change, so we'll have to see what happens. All right, and going all the way to the yearly, all the way out to the yearly, just to get back into the Bollinger Band on the yearly. So watch the end of this year. It's been rising, but still hasn't got there, and that's right around 209, somewhere in that area. So we could, we've had a great move since this low here. And it's regained itself, and it's really holding on by the skin of its teeth right now. So we'll have to see what happens. But taking a look at the daily now that we're closed, uh, it's just stuck in this pattern. It's just that simple. It's really just stuck in a pattern, and we'll have directions tomorrow. So we have the new Skype room that we have for our members. So we're in there. Live chat hasn't gone anywhere. Emails will be going out regularly. Videos will be done regularly. Nothing has changed. Any of the training videos in our Skynet members for the app that have the option scanning tool. Your that tool's working fine, and they're also in the chat room. So if you'd like to become a member and get ready to chase some of these trades with us, it's going to be a good time. We are kind of positioned for this for tomorrow, not heavily, but we are positioned for it. But once the move on this side or this side breaks, then there's going to be some positions to take place. So if you want to be live with us for the Fed tomorrow, join up at the bottom of the email or click on the link on the video and try us out for a month and see how happy you will be. If not, then just keep watching the videos, and I'll do the best I can to take a good look at some of these things. Real quick, just the SPX. You can see here, it's rising up very nice also, and this is the daily, and you can see we're still coming up plenty of room, and we're still coming up plenty of room, and we're at the lows over here. So as long as this trend line is not compromised, all we have to do is really get over this EMA 8 because a little heads up here, we did break. If you worked with these three candles right here, which were your aggressive downtrend, we did break right here. So this is really just consolidation before a push higher 9 times out of 10. And as you can see, some of these indicators are starting to look that way. So that's why I was saying on the weekly, monthly, longer term looks like we're going to be taking a little bit of a dip, but we could get a little push up here to the 2180 or the 2200, somewhere in that area. So keep an eye on all that. And this is Matt from MilestoneCapitalGrowthPortfolio.com. I will see everybody with many more videos all winter long. Have yourself a great trading session tomorrow and the rest of the week.